just 2 weeks ago, I got a call from Beth saying, "You'll never guess what Chris, her son, had just found." So does that mean that they lived in the catacombs of Egypt, where they ground? No, it doesn't mean that there was this whole treasure chests just all the way to the Nile River, full of Chuck Schuldiner memorabilia. It isn't like that. It's just in the course of moving from place to place and storage facilities and this kind of stuff, Chuck had a few boxes and boxes of stuff that was unaccounted for, and a lot of it was right in Jane's dining room in a big case. And wow. So we finally just found stuff, and for Chris to say, "Hey, I just found another box," is definitely credible. And so of course he gave it to his mom, and his mom just brought it over to Relapse. But who's got the time to go through that? It's like
insane. Yeah.
The production manager of Relapse is Drew Jurgens, and he's got such a job that I could write him a note probably at 8 o'clock at night, and he's just rushing to finish the deadline for Human. Then in comes Beth to Relapse. She came in there herself with this box with 80 tapes. So at some point, someone's gonna have to sit down and go through it and see if we found the lost chord. I mean, that's really what it's all about. We do want to discover something that. I mean, Chuck did comedy tapes. He did all kinds of stuff. So whether or not we're going to include that I don't know.
We will see. I mean, let's get through some of these questions, Eric.
Sorry to preach on, brother.
Yeah, shut up, Eric. Just to knock through some of these, a question I had was, there was trouble in the early 1990s where Death did a tour without Chuck, which in itself all you can do is laugh because it's just a joke. But who did the singing?
Yeah.
Who actually sang? Because who sings like?
Man, no, Look, I wasn't working for them at the time. Chuck had fired me. We had a fight. And this is all covered in the press, but
we'll get to that
later. Long
story
short, he had fired me. We had a little fight over the telephone. He was angry about something. So he fired me, and then things kind of went into disarray for him on a personal level. And then there were some contracts for a tour of Europe. For whatever personal reason, Chuck decided he didn't want to go. Terry Butler, who of course is a longtime friend of mine, and he's actually a client of mine.
Yeah.
He made a decision, he and Bill, that they were going to go to Europe anyway. Their guitar tech and their sound man were also capable musicians, and one of them sang and one of them played guitar. And it's as simple as that.
This must have been a wreck.
Went to Europe, missed tour. I don't know. They did the entire tour. There was a lot of "fuck Chuck" kind of chanting. There was a lot of backbiting. Chuck in the meantime contacted me through my lawyer because I was in the middle of a lawsuit. I had sued Chuck.
Yeah.
And again, long story short, my lawyer called me and said, "Chuck wants to reconcile with you. He really needs to get you on the phone." So he got me on the phone and said, Bill and Terry have gone to Europe. They're using the name, and
I'm gonna fucking kill them. Fuck.
That I'm not. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but according to Terry, and Terry is a wonderful, lovable guy and a trustworthy, honest guy, he said that they were already planning the comeback of the band Massacre during that. They had no intention of it.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's that really cool documentary called Thrash Till Death that it kind of documents that period, where you've got Chuck talking about it, Terry talking about it, the whole thing just seems like they had a falling out and whatever. Chuck was this and Chuck was that. But anyway, moving on. Another question I've got for you, Eric Greif,
the Eric Greif,
the one and only Eric.
Griffey
guy, Eric.
Let me get rid of this call.
Eric.
This is my BlackBerry. This is the Eric Greif BlackBerry that has Eric and Chuck on there. I don't know if you can see that.
It's not in focus, but I'll say yes.
Okay.
But Chuck was quite small. He fits in that phone.
Exactly. Hello, Chuck. He is my slave.
No, but another question. I've got loads of questions, Eric. So, can you stop wasting my time, please? I mean, can we get a little...
Okay, go on. You British people.
No, but the next...
I hate to be called British. This doesn't make any sense. What's a British person?
Yeah, what
would call a Scottish guy a British person?
Yeah, what is that? That doesn't make sense. What am I?
And why can't we have a St. George's Day as a real holiday?
Kill me,
David Cameron.
Kill me. Yeah, the question, Eric, is how come how come after the philosopher, Death didn't release another video? What, Eric? What's going on?
The answer to that went to the grave with Chuck Schuldiner.
Lazy.
I don't know. The possibility of doing a video for the very first time, of course, came about when we did one for Human.
Yeah.
I was in charge of that one. Then the next time I was on the outs with Chuck. So
someone
the label people positive enough the money to do the philosopher. But
I think
for whatever reason there was never one done for the Roadrunner release.
I kind of I think it might have been Alex Fiddle again that mentioned something to me about one of the main metal video. I think it might have been Headbangers Ball had screwed up or stopped, or so that might have been a reason why Chuck didn't want to do it, because there wasn't going to be a channel to show these videos.
You know what? That's if Alex thought of that himself, that's a brilliant hypothesis, because I never really thought of it about that. But chronologically, that would fit. Is the demise of metal? It was a very, very big thing by the mid '90s, of course, and the avenue for showing metal that dried up. I mean, by '95. So
yeah.
I can't really remember why Death never did a video for the Roadrunner release or for the Nuclear Blast release.
It would have been cool to see some.
Don't forget. Hold on. In the Nuclear Blast era with Perseverance, of course, there was a lot of visual stuff that was recorded in the way of concert footage. So, and they did cobble one together for a Scavenger.
Of human sorrow.
I think for a Scavenger one, but I'm not sure.
Well, there is going to be a later question about the lack of comprehension and the philosopher. But moving on, another question is: was Chuck Death able to live off the music he created? And before you answer, there's a bit more to it. From what I hear from the world around me, any money to be made in a band is made through touring and playing shows, and not through record sales. I don't know how much truth there is in that, because you hear a lot of costs are to do with the bus and these sort of things. Richard Christie was quoted as saying he was only able to live off drumming for short periods of time, and that's coming from an incredible drummer. So if you love reality, Eric, why don't you hit the world with a big fat pie of reality of what it's like being in you could call Death a massive metal band. Let
me dispel this rumor, and you'll see if you follow a lot of stuff that I do on YouTube, for instance. Sometimes I just sort of get onto YouTube and make comments that people write. Is this belief that Chuck was some sort of pauper, and that he was poor, and that he was never paid, and as we agree, the Schuldiners and I, there isn't anybody on earth who would be more upset. And if he was in a grave, because of course Chuck isn't in a grave, he was...
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Oh, sorry.
Eric, you're messing with my questions, Eric.
Incredibly upset. Oh, sorry. You knew I was going to ramble on. If Chuck could actually know that people thought he was some kind of poor man, that he never made $1 from his music, he would be incredibly angry. The fact is that by the middle of his career, Chuck was making a very comfortable living, and because he didn't have to share profits with other band members, because essentially from Human on, all the players were paid as employees, he was able to buy homes, he was able to buy cars, he was building a recording studio at his last residence. He was a perfectly comfortable guy. Did he get ripped off? On occasion, of course.
The
But the fact is that he was able to earn a living. Now, the difference between then and now is because nowadays, if it costs $2 million or $1 million to make a record, you're not going to be able to cover that. But if your records are being recorded for $30,000 and you sell several 100,000 copies, then of course you're able to make some money, and you don't have to just rely on touring.
Okay, so
that dispels that rumor.
Okay. I mean, but the thing is, all we can ever ask for is a bit of comfort. I mean, if you've got that, then you're not doing so bad. I mean, for all I know, Chuck was too nice, and people just weren't nice back. I mean, you hear a lot of things, but the reality.
Well, look. For the most part, I haven't had a single former member of Death say, "What? You want to you want me to help you with that guy?" I mean, not a single person. Nobody. Even people he had falling outs with, that he didn't reconcile with before he died. Nobody said to me, "Hey, I'm not going to help you," or whatever. Well, okay, one guy has, but I didn't hear that myself, and that wasn't a former.
Sure. Okay, let's
member of the band. It was somebody. But the point is, he paid everyone. He paid them well. He was very generous. Everyone will tell you he was buying gifts for people, and he was just the nicest guy on that level. And I don't know. Just one other thing: the fact that people think he was super poor is because in the end he lost everything. He lost everything because of the American insurance system, the medical system.
It is that part of the story is particularly sad. I mean,
that's awful.
I have actually had the privilege of talking to Beth. If just a little bit, because I know she's dealing with her own thing that's serious. But to me, I think Beth is a testament to Chuck as a sister, and as a member of the the Shaldina family. I've shared some absolutely incredible words with Beth, and I'm just some dude who's sort of come out of nowhere, and I've got a few ideas and made a few videos, and her generosity, in my opinion, it just has no boundaries. I mean, it is incredible. Like it all sounds so soppy and this sort of thing, but
it's true. The thing is, it's real. Beth is real, and she with Beth, you get what you see, and she's like that. She's just all the way to the mat. And I mean, I'll go to my mailbox. I'll open up my mailbox. There will be a box in there, and in there will be little gifts and trinkets and fake blood and candy and just Halloween masks and whatever for the children. Because she's family, and that's the way she is. She's like that with everybody. And really, you hit the nail on the head. She is the perfect example of a wonderful sibling, a supportive sister, a big sister. She is the ultimate big sister. And what she did for that man, for Chuck, and what she tried to do to keep him alive, I mean, it's just... Jane calls Beth a warrior, and I mean, soppy or not, it's a fact.
I think I can't remember what the exact word was, but I think Chuck called Beth something like this, a soldier or a warrior, something like this. I saw a quote. It was one of these words, but we should probably get back on track.
But no, it is important for the Death fans to know this, that you're dealing with real human beings. And I'm gonna cry. But it's true. It really is true.